very warm welcome to all of you. I'm Srishti and I'll be your host for today's session. And I'm excited to have all of you here for what promises to be a very highly insightful discussion. As AI adoption accelerates, the real opportunity isn't just in one off training deals, it's in building predictable, recurring revenue streams, especially by tapping into high budget, non tech industries that are rapidly catching up. To guide us through this, we have an incredible speaker with us today, Mr. Bill Becker. Bill is the Vice President of Strategic Partnerships for North America at AI Certs. He is also a longtime writer and speaker on careers and the author of two insightful books, The Job Nobody Dreams of, Inside the Greatest Career You Have Never Heard of, and second, Create Your Own Job, an innovative strategy for job applicants. With his deep expertise in partnerships and understanding of evolving industry needs, Bill brings a unique perspective on how organizations can unlock sustainable growth through AI training. Bill, we are thrilled to have you today, and without a further ado, I would like to hand over the stage to you.
Well, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I got a lot to live up to, I guess. So I appreciate everyone taking time to join us today. This is a unique time in history, really. You all know you can't go 5 minutes and not hear those two letters. And while that can be maddening sometimes, that there's some real opportunities out there for training providers. And when I say training providers, that's a lot of different entities, right? A lot of us came from the traditional IT training business. So, those are some of our first partners. But as we've grown and expanded our catalog, we see other things. We have solopreneurs that have built up contacts over the years that are doing some really exciting things. You think about this. Every company needs to get their staff AI ready. And so that is the unique angle here and opportunity that everyone's thinking about AI. There's this huge spotlight on organizations to get their staff AI ready and maybe just basic AI literacy, right? But one of the cool things is, what we do, which no one else does, which is how does AI impact specific job roles with a certification? And so that is the opportunity that we're going to talk about today. And basically any industry that is regulated, like healthcare and finance and legal and government, those some additional opportunities there. So some of the things we're going to talk about today. We will if my mouse works. There we go. So, at the beginning of these webinars, we always talk about different, statistics and the opportunity out there. I know this is set for North America, but regardless, I talk to partners around the world. There's an incredible need for AI training. I mentioned earlier about this spotlight being on organizations. And there's a lot of anxiety out there, right? There is a lot of anxiety. Everyone sees the headlines. 16,000 people laid off, 10,000 people laid off. I think everyone understands that the layoffs, unfortunately, are real. The reason that it's being given are not. That AI cannot replace citywide's worth of people today. So, those headlines, that's to appease Wall Street, shipping jobs overseas. But every day, companies are looking, it's like, how do we get our team AI ready? So you can always come up with different angles and statistics. You just know that there's an incredible opportunity, and companies are looking for someone that can give them peace of mind, right? So first is, enterprises, whether a company has 100 people or 50,000 people, they're all looking for that answer. And so again, it could be just basic AI literacy, right? So we have AI Plus for everyone for that. We also have a free course called AI Plus Foundations. It's kind of a, whittled down version. It's free for a couple reasons. One, it's great lead gen for our partners, right? So when a partner comes on board, usually one of the first things they do is they send out as many of the AI Plus Foundations as possible. It's just great lead gen. It's also good for philanthropic opportunities. So a lot of partners are working with nonprofits. So, whether it's being, disadvantaged kids or people who have been incarcerated, lots of different opportunities with that. And of course, governments, whether it's international, national, the state level. I know that, we're working with an organization that's helping roll out the Italian AI initiative. I know that here in the US, there are several states that have initiatives, including funding for training. Texas is one of the first ones that did that. They had a law go into effect last September where all public employees had to get AI trained. Great thing about it, they also included money for that. Associations, there's some really exciting opportunities for partners. We've had some really cool stuff that we've done with associations. One of the best things we've done to date is with the Institute of Internal Auditors. We co-developed a course for internal auditors, and it's just gone off like gangbusters. I also have a program going with the Cyber Future Foundation, and there's other associations, because in the end, right, associations have members. Those members are all wondering, what do I do with this AI thing? How do I get myself AI ready? How do I get my membership AI ready? So memberships with associations, I think is something that more and more people need to think about. And then, of course, academia. And there's different ways to go about when you're working with schools and universities. The obvious one is their current students, right? There you have to kind of figure out, are the courses going to go into the curriculum? That takes a little bit longer, right? They've got to have a lot of people get permission. A lot of times it's much easier to put it on top of the curriculum. Two other, faster ways for helping academia get to revenue quicker is the obvious is past students, right? Every alumni is wondering what they're going to do with this AI thing. They're looking at, how do I get AI ready? How do I get, my staff AI ready? So we're big believers in like, hey, go talk to your alumni. Also, there's a lot of academia institutions that have continuing education. So that's a no-brainer, right? Is your continuing education needs to involve AI. So basically, there's four ways there with colleges and universities. Again, statistics. I think everybody in it understands that you can't get away from this. There are kind of the news is helping, seed and get everyone ready to understand. It's like, what are we going to do to get AI ready? And one of the focuses on today's is the non-tech industry. So, we mentioned again healthcare. Healthcare, and I've seen over the last 2-3 weeks some incredible opportunities with partners. For many months last year, we had our anchor course, AI plus healthcare. Now we have doctor, nurse, healthcare administrator, healthcare assistant, pharmacist, and there's more coming. And we're doing the same thing with other courses, with law and marketing and finance. So, it's probably a good time. We'll talk a little bit more about the courses, but today we have 74 courses in a wide range of practice areas. Every course has an instructor-led version and an e-learning version, virtually the same content. But it's important to remember, it's like, well, Bill, there's all kinds of courses out there, right? And at some point, in these webinars and when I talk to HR directors, I go, look, we all know you can learn whatever you want for free on the internet, right? So if you're going to go out and teach yourself this AI thing, what would you do? Well, if you're smart, you would go look at case studies in your industry, see what other companies, how they're adopting and adapting AI into their organization. If you're really smart, you go look at case studies in other industries, because what's working in retail might work in construction or, finance. What's the next thing you would do? Well, you would go look at AI tools for your specific job role. Oh my gosh, there are so many of them. But you look at, 3 or 4, you play around with them and you go, all right. You're legit AI ready. Prove it. That is the beauty of the certification. That is why AI certs is so different. We're really a certification org that provides training through our partners. So every course actually starts with the exam. In the exam, there's a lot of research, job task analysis, really boring stuff, right? But in the end, it creates a legit proctored exam. And from that come the courses. And unlike a lot of, for any of you that are familiar with traditional IT certifications, where you pay for a course, you go buy an exam voucher, maybe go someplace else to do the exam. The exams are actually built into the course. So it's all self-contained. But again, mentioned healthcare, that I talked to an organization, a state nurse organization. It's the smaller state. I don't want to mention it, but I had no idea they had 71,000 nurses, right? And she goes, that doesn't even include the LPNs. But once you talk to a nurse association or it's not just nurses, right? Once you're inside a healthcare system, that entire healthcare system is a target rich environment. I'll give you an example. Again, going back to the traditional IT training companies, where in the past we've had partners do, they train a couple system admin on Microsoft Windows for a hospital. Now we're seeing 5-figure deals for the entire healthcare system because everyone needs to get AI, basic AI literacy. In 2026, I can make a great case, and so should you, that everyone should know how to write good prompts. No longer a nice to have career skill. So there's prompt engineering. And then you have the role specific course, whether it's finance, legal, marketing, the doctors, the nurses, the healthcare administrators. We also have courses beyond that for managers, like AI plus executives. So within healthcare systems, within insurance organizations, within banking systems, lots of great opportunities for enterprise type sales. So you go, all right, you know what, Bill, we're going to just build our own courses. And you could. It may be the greatest thing ever. But guess what? It's going to get outdated pretty quick. So you want to have something that's recognized already. And, we've been around for almost 2 years now. And our certification follows international ISO standards. We are on the back end. In June, we'll have final blessing from ANAB ANSI, but our courses are recognized by Project Management Institute, right, for their PDUs. We can also provide continuing education credits for healthcare courses, through one of our partners. So a global recognized certification, that's really important. The other thing too is role-based. We don't train on technology. Microsoft, AWS, all the big tech companies have their own AI courses and their certifications, but it's training and certification on their technology. We're agnostic. How does AI impact marketing? How does AI impact nursing? That is the key difference here. And then flexible learning. The other, claim to fame for us is we say we're multimodality. So different ways to consume the content. Every single lesson in a course, you can watch the video lecture even after you've taken the instructor-led class. You can read the ebook. So watch, read. If you're like me, I watch the videos with the closed captioning on. There's also 2 audio components on every course. There's a traditional audio book, so one voice in your head, and then there's podcasts. Podcasts are unbelievably popular. We also say multi-device, so you can do it on your computer, tablet, phone. People listening to podcasts, exercises on their phone while they're working out, walking the dog, doing laundry. You can do the courses on your phone, just log in. But we also have an app that's been downloaded over 750,000 times. So multiple ways to consume the content. So it's just not one long oh, I got to watch, 8 hours of video, or I got to read this book. Throughout the course too, that you have a lecture, then you have exercises, you have a self-check. Hey, are you good to go to your next module? And when I mentioned the exams are built in. So once you're done with the course, you can launch the exam. The proctoring session opens up and you get 2 shots at it. And there's 2 attempts that are built into the course. And again, the while you get to play around with tools, each course has 3 or 4 tools that you get your hands dirty. You don't become proficient, right, in a 6, 8 hour course, but you do get to play around with it. And the idea at the end of that training, you go, you know what? I played around with 3 or 4 tools. I'm going to go spend more time at that one. And every course also has an additional resource, a PDF of 10 to 20 other tools that we've curated and said, hey, you know what? Maybe you should go take a look at these as well. The other reason that you don't want to go develop your own course is it's going to be outdated pretty quick. So we tell people, regardless how you take the content, in a live class or e-learning, you get access for a year. And because it's AI, something's probably going to change, right? So we look at things on a quarterly basis. And as something gets updated, the student gets an email. Hey, Bill, we've added a new case study into your course, or we found a new role-specific tool we think you'll be excited about. So we built this program so you guys just do what you do best, working with your clients. This is perfectly set up for organizations like, you've been in business 2 years, you've been in business for 30 years. You have this database of customers that know you, trust you, have spent money with you. And every single one of them, whether they want to or not, they're wondering, what am I going to do with this AI thing? When someone can go to them and say, we have role-specific training with a certification, that's a great story to share. And I mentioned again, we update it on a quarterly basis. We have vendor or enterprise different opportunities. So you can sell a single course, you can do bundles. We also have something that we just introduced called our All Access Pass. It's an all-you-can-eat e-learning subscription. So for a single price, an employee gets access to all the courses. And he's like, well, great, Bill, no one's not going to do all 74 courses. And by the way, the goal is by the end of this year, we're going to be close to 200 courses. So as we've been going wide, we're also going deep. So, but you're right, no one's going to do all those courses. The idea is you have a customer that's got 250 employees. So they I pull up the org chart. Well, you don't want to sit there and go, Bob needs these 3 courses, Jennifer needs these 3 courses. You give them access to everything. They can pick and choose what they want. More than likely, they're going to do 2 or 3 courses through completion, right? The other cool thing is, and this is the feedback we got from people, is they also go, you know what? I would never have gone through this entire course, but there's 2 modules in there that I would love to go through. And there's a module in this course that's really cool that I want to take a look at. It also allows you to do, custom design learning paths. So All Access Pass just rolled out. It's going to be a big thing, and it's designed solely for enterprise sales. And when I talked earlier about we sell through partners, can an individual go to our website and buy a single course? Yes, they can. They cannot buy instructor-led training. They cannot buy, get enterprise pricing. They won't even know about the All Access Pass. So our interests are aligned with our partners. If our partners don't sell anything, we don't make money. Again, some of the reasons to go through, let us build it. Let us keep it up to date. You focus on working with your customers. And then we also will help you get new customers as well. So kind of summarizing what we talked about, you can build it yourself. Not really a good use of your time and money. And it's better to partner with us. We have partners all over the world. Out of those 74 courses, everything is available in Spanish. We also have pockets of other languages that have been localized, German, French, Arabic, Mandarin. We have several things that are in the works for Korean, Swedish. We're waiting for partners to come and say, hey, Bill, I got 200 people I need for AI plus nurse in Portuguese. That's part of why you want to work with us, is we can help localize. And even if you're all, and usually these webinars, we say North America, but we almost always get somebody, from a different part of the world. Even if we didn't, if you're a company in North America, you have customers, this is a worldwide economy, right? They probably have employees, outside of North America. So again, one stop, having, different languages available is a huge selling point. So we have, and I'm sure this is way, it's been updated, probably closer to getting to 150,000 learners. We have 500 instructors around the world. Those are independent instructors that are, open to hire. They're also instructors for our partners. To become an instructor does not cost anything. You simply take the course for free, pass the exam, and then you go into our trainer portal. And because a lot of us came from the IT training business, we have a lot of resources to help support instructors. We provide the PowerPoint slides for it. We have lecture notes. Every course has an AI mentor for each learner. So think of it as a homework helper or teaching assistant. Each course also has an AI mentor for instructors to help them prep. So a lot of resources to help support instructors. Mention again, we're always updating the content. The exams are not just some fly-by-night, something that we put together. And then we're going to talk more about the go-to-market support. That's the big deal, right? Because you can have build the greatest thing ever, but if there's no way to help market that, then having the best technology, not always the greatest thing, right? Ask Sony in beta and the Betamax and Apple when the computer first came out. Didn't really take off. So I mentioned 74 certifications today. Yeah, I have this slide. I know it's probably a little hard to see, but the majority of them are 1 day. We call those the professional. 1 day instructor-led, 6 to 8 hours e-learning. Then we have the 5 day courses, instructor-led, 40-hour e-learning. Those tend to be technical. Almost all of all the technical courses are like that. We have one non-technical that's 5 day. It's our second project manager course. So it's also mastery. And so everyone doesn't get confused. There are no 2, 3, or 4 day courses. So that helps to kind of keep things straight. So how's way to partner? There's 4 ways to partner with this. The authorized training partner, and that's kind of what we talk about most, and that can be a traditional IT training company all the way down to solopreneurs. I've signed a bunch of solopreneurs over the last 3 or 4 months. Again, these are consultants. These are people that have built up a great database of business contacts throughout their career. Again, every single one of those people and those contacts, they're all thinking, I got to do something about this AI thing. So you could be a medical training company. You could be, an accounting training company. That's what the authorized training program's for. We mentioned about our academic program, colleges, universities. We have those around the world. And I mentioned 4 ways of revenue within an academic partner. Also mentioned, associations. Again, who knew that, internal auditors have been so great to us. That's great. But there's thousands of associations around the world that have a couple hundred people up to 500,000 people in their membership ranks. So that is something I strongly urge. If You become an authorized training partner. You should also go after associations. If there are any association leaders listening today, we can help get your membership AI ready. We also, speaking of associations, that, I mentioned the two co-developed certifications. We look for other opportunities, a strategic opportunity to co-develop with associations. So if we have associations people listening today or watching the recording, reach out. Let's have that conversation. First and foremost, we want to get your membership AI ready, but then let's talk about, a potential co-develop, co-branding, co-sell deal. And the easiest way to partner with us is an affiliate partner. I think most people understand how affiliate programs work, but this is a simple way to, resell the e-learning. As a full partner, and when I say full partner, that's one of the other three, and a full partner, you get to sell both the instructor-led and the e-learning. As an affiliate partner, you just resell the e-learning. It works like most affiliate programs. You sign up, you can put up links, maybe you have a newsletter, maybe you have a podcast, and you can list all the courses. You can list, a single course. The other thing about the affiliate program is unique that I've had a couple partners both become an authorized training provider and affiliate partner. Now, why would they do that, Bill? Because it gives you instant e-commerce ability. So a lot of organizations, the solopreneurs, they have a website, right? And they get the courses listed in there, but they don't have e-commerce ability. And they can set that up, and then that usually, takes some time. But if you want instant e-commerce ability, you can become an affiliate partner, list those links, do an email blast. You can make money. You can have your first sale the same day that you become a partner. For those of you that are, established and have a really good website or LMS, we do a lot of integrations. We have a ton of documentation on how to integrate with our platform. We have some rock star technical experts to help you, finalize that integration. So uh, lots of different ways to, represent our courses. The idea is really, do what you do best. Take our partnership program, just plug it in. We promote it together, and then you start making money. We talk about, marketing. So today in our partner portal, we have over 700 sales and marketing assets. We have the course outlines. We have the executive summaries. Executive summaries, think of a course outline on steroids. For every course, we have a battle card, which is great for the salespeople. We have a podcast for each course. It can be from 4 to 8 minutes on talking about the course and why someone should sign up for it. We have social media kits. Your biggest asset in marketing is me, right? I've been in the training business for 25 years. Yes, I did start when I was 14. But again, our interests are aligned. We don't make money unless our partners do. So I do webinars with my partners all the time. And those webinars can be one of two ways. It can be a traditional webinar like this, where Bill just talks for 20 minutes and then takes questions, promoting to your customer base. I also do fireside chats, which is me and one of the principals of a training partner, president, CEO, whatever. And we just talk about, what's going on in the world of AI and upskilling and how is it affecting the workforce. I love doing, both of those. And it's not a one-off deal, right? You can, do a webinar 1 month. We do a fireside chat the next month. The support system, again, I mentioned about all the things for helping the instructors. We also have, groups, where instructors can talk and mentor each other. There's really 3 ways to do instructor-led training with us. The most obvious is you get your own people trained, and then you deliver the class, right? If you have a couple prospects, they go, hey, you know what, Bill? I got 2 people who would really like to take AI Plus Law. We don't have an instructor prepped. Then you look and see if another partner is delivering that class, and then you can sell into their class. You simply split the revenue 50-50. The third way is, hey, you got 6 to 20 people that need a class, but you don't have anyone certified. Rent an instructor. You remember earlier, we have over 500 instructors on available around the world. Rent the instructor, and you just keep all the revenue. So multiple ways to do instructor-led training. Again, all the different things that we can do to help promote our partners. The idea is, again, this is a unique time that when I first came on, I would talk to some of our, traditional IT training companies. I go, remember when you sold 5-day SQL classes and you made bank? And they go, yeah, 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 the good old days. Maybe 2% of the world has even heard of SQL. The entire world knows about AI. Everyone's thinking. Within an organization, I'll go back to the anxiety that I talked earlier, that you have the workforce. They're anxious. Is AI going to replace my job? They see the headlines. And so I talked to a lot of HR directors. That is the most obvious entry point for enterprise sales is with HR because training is going to be a big part of adopting AI. And I say, look, we can make you a hero. You have this anxiety of your workforce. We will talk to them, say, you know what? AI is more likely to come for your tasks, right? And that's a good thing. If you can free up 2, 3, 4 hours a week, you can become a better employee. Use your experience, use your institutional knowledge to do new things that make you more valuable to the company. So workforce anxiety. The people above HR, they absolutely have anxiety. I mean, they answer into somebody, a board, the owner. They go, we know we got to do something with this AI. We're terrified. They may not always use the terrified, but they're terrified. And why? They know they got to do something. They have this big spotlight. They're afraid of making the wrong decision. And this is really true, and it's always been true with, B2B sales, right? If I make the wrong purchase and I'm buying a TV, I'm out a few $100s, maybe a couple $1,000. If I make the wrong purchasing decision for my company, especially something as important as AI adoption, that could cost me my job. So people in business to business sales, they're not buying bells and whistles and features and benefits. They're buying peace of mind. And when you can go to these executives, these HR directors and talk and share this, it gives them tremendous peace of mind that, hey, especially with your current customers, right? They already know you, they trust you, they spent money with you. So they should be, you should be the first go-to for them anyway. And if you haven't been promoting AI training, now you can, right? So here's a screenshot of our partner portal. We have 3 portals. So the obvious one is the learner portal. That's where learners go in and take the course, take the exam. That's the portal that we can integrate with your LMS if you have one. Within the partner portal, there's several things. All the sales and marketing assets are there. It's also where you would go to enroll students if you don't have e-commerce set up. Even if you do have e-commerce set up, it's where you would go and enroll people in an instructor-led class because you have to choose the instructor for that. We have a monthly partner meeting every month. April's coming up next Tuesday. So if you guys get signed up in the next 2.5 days, you can make that meeting. We also put in the recordings in the deck for there. Then you can see on the right-hand side there that once you start getting students, you can see, how many students do I have? How many, have attempted the exam? You can also see, and this is going to be very important to your end customer, hey, we enrolled 100 people. How's everyone doing? And you can go in and it looks like, yeah, you know what? 20 people haven't even logged in yet. They want to know that. They also want to know, all right, the people, when they do log in, hey, you know what? They're 50% through the course or whatever. How many people have passed the exam? Again, I want to go back to the exam because this is what's so important, because you can do all this AI training yourself. There's other options out there, but they know, enterprise leaders know that they got to make a not insignificant investment to getting their staff AI ready, right? So what are they thinking about besides not making a mistake? How do I know I'm going to get a return on this significant investment? First question, did your folks get certified? That's the beauty of the certification. Role-based training backed by a certification is a tremendous thing to lead with when you're talking to customers. And here is a screenshot of our UI. Again, I mentioned earlier all the different ways to consume the content. So over here, I need a mouse on the right side. Over here, you can see there's 4 different ways to do the content. You can watch the video. You can read the ebook. You got the audio version. You have the podcast. Literally every single exercise, you have 4 ways to consume that. And earlier, when I mentioned that the instructor-led stuff and the e-learning are virtually the same. So if you take a 1-day instructor-led class, because you have access for a year, the next 364 days, you have the exact same content as the e-learning people. So, and again, quarterly reviews to make sure everything's up to date. It's a pretty exciting story to share with your folks. We're going to wind down here. So what do you do? How do you get going? Well, first you reach out to me, bill.becker@aisearch.ai. You'll have some other contact information in the follow-up email when we're done. But we talk about, which is the best way to do it. Are you association? Are you with a college, university? Are you a training organization? We get you signed up, and immediately we go to work, planning out all the sales and marketing activities. But if you do instructor-led training, we look for the opportunity there. Typically, when you sell to a large organization, you have 500 people, it's going to be a hybrid, right? There's going to be, certain packets of where you're going to have instructor-led training, whether they're your own people or you hire an instructor, and then everybody else is going to get the e-learning. And then as you get going and you have some success stories, we just keep expanding that. We've seen some just incredible opportunities that partners have brought up to in the tens, a couple 100,000 that that they're bringing to the table that we're working on. It's not easy. You got to do the work, but the work is what you're already doing. You're selling training. You don't have to worry about course creation, keeping stuff updated, and you have us behind you to help promote. I go on sales calls a lot with partners. I will talk as little or as much as you want, because again, remember, our interests are aligned. If you don't sell anything, we don't make any money. So again, there's all kinds of opportunities out there. The healthcare, finance, legal, government. We talked about some specific instances there. Everyone's looking. Everyone wants to get this off their to-do list, right? And that's the one thing too to keep in mind. So yes, we got to do something with this AI stuff. But this is not for those of you that are old enough to remember the year 2000 bug nonsense. This isn't a 2-year push and then we're going on to something else. It is a big push to get AI into the company, to adopt it, but then they're going to need to adapt it. So this is going to be reoccurring. You're going to have new employees. You're going to have employees that become managers. This will be an ongoing revenue stream for you. New courses will come out. Reoccurring, ongoing new revenue opportunities. So as you can tell, I'm very excited. I hope to be able to talk to all of you. I hope you all reach out and set up a one-on-one. We can talk, strategize about the best way to work together. And, it's the 9th of April. So a little over almost 9 months left in the year to do some exciting things together. With that, I will stop yapping and see if we have any questions.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bill, for those insights. I would request the audience to please share their questions, any doubts, anything regarding the certifications or the program, partner programs that we just told you about. Please feel free to drop in your questions in the chat box or Q&A section. And also, we'll be sharing the recording of the session and your participation certificates shortly with you all. So yeah, I think we'll just wait for a couple of minutes, Bill. If someone has any questions, they might put it. And
Okay, sounds good.
yeah. Okay, so we have one question, Bill. Uh, and the question says, like, how soon can we start with the onboarding process?
You sign up today, you'll be on, I'll have you partner portal credentials before the end of the day. It's literally that quick. Then we have a meeting to talk about, what we're going to do together in the first 90 days. We go as fast as you want. And it's not, hey, we're going to do all the work for you. We're going to do a bunch of work with you. You have this database. They're all looking at. Let's go mine that database immediately. Send an email with a link to get the foundations course for free. Carpet bomb everybody all the contacts, and then you can start looking at, all right, let's go talk to these guys about these specific courses. So as quickly as you want it to be.
Right. Um, I think with that, we are towards the end of the session, Bill. I would request the audience if they have any questions later on after the session, please feel free to reach out to us directly. You have all the contact information in the chat box. Also, Bill, if you could just drop in your mail ID so that people can reach out to you personally if they have something and they want to connect with you. Please feel free to connect with Bill over LinkedIn as well. He shares quite interesting posts and he'll keep you updated. So everyone,
You'll see my rants against these bad layoffs. So yes, it's bill.becker at aisearch.ai. LinkedIn is Bill Becker 7. And I hope to talk to all of you soon. Thank you so much for your time today.
thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Have a great day ahead. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, bye-bye.